Well, see, you might not have caught G-Eazy, but you did catch Jeezy. Okay, on that Trap or Die. That title
pivot, big guy. You learned it. Learning how to pivot, ain't you?
I got it for you, Will. I got it for you. That Jeezy Trap or Die title track for a title project that was going to change the sound in the South. Being a part of that, how the hell did you and Jeezy hook up, and how did that song come about?
So I had already done a record with Jeezy called "We Getting Money" over here, right?
Of course.
So that come through my partner D Money. D Money's out Decatur. He had an artist at the time named Q. We had done some stuff, and he was like, "My little partner is trying to rap, man. You know, why don't you do something with him?" So my partner D Money connected me and Jeezy. We hit it off with the first record, and then that's when he started tapping in with Drama and doing a lot of promotion and stuff with Drama. And so he reached out to me to do another record. So I meet him at Patchwork. I go in the studio, I lay the verse, you know, chilling, hanging out. I go to the bathroom. I walk down the hallway. I see Gucci Mane. Gucci Mane said, "Hey, man, I'm in here. I'm doing my T-shirt, white tee, or black tee remix. Yeah. Can you get down on it?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he got on a rose gold chain. I say, "Man, I've been wanting to get a rose gold chain. Like, where did you get that chain from?" He said, "I got it from King Johnny in Houston." Like, I'm like, "Well, I'll be goddamn."
Yeah.
Rose gold been right there in my face the whole time. I'm just going to the wrong flea market.
Yeah.
But it was such a time, right? Like, because Trap or Die, Icy, all of this stuff is happening. You know, we're part of this BMF movement, Free Big Meech, at the time. So it's just all this momentum and energy, and Jeezy's right there on the receiving end of it. Woo. And let me say something, because we talk about Icy all the time, and much respect to Jeezy and Gucci, but man, Will made the record.
Yeah.
Like, Icy was a hit because the hook was so solid.
You know what? Nobody ever brought that up, and you're absolutely right.
And if you look at it, Will has more studio experience than them two.
Yeah.
So Will actually, being from Dungeon Family, being in that system at the time, was really, at that point, the star of the record. But we can't see that far now.
Yeah.
Because there's so much in between then and now.
Yeah.
But man, it was Will on that. I said, that shit was about the hook. Now, the rappers showed up and looked the part.
Yeah.
Right? That's a big part of it, too, because they both show up. They both icy. We got Meech and the team behind us. Everything looking like it's supposed to look. And I'm talking about, they only performed it like twice.
Yeah.
They only did it like twice. I was at both of them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then Def Jam get in and start trying to figure out who owned the record, because they want the record. And then that complicates everything, and it just become a whole...
They had the biggest Verzuz.
Yeah.
I think.
By far.
Right. But I keep telling everybody that'll listen to me, I'm screaming from a mountaintop, I feel like UGK and 8 Ball and MJG will, if not pass it, it'll be right in the neighborhood.
I think it'll be a good one. Now, you got to understand.
I think it'll be a great one, but
a lot of people, in terms of Verzuz, right, like a lot of people tuned in to Jeezy and Gucci Mane for the wrong reason.
Right.
They tuned in. A lot of people tuned in to see if it was going to go bad. If you looked in the comments, you know what I'm saying, it was a lot of suspect shit being said, because people expecting a fight. That's what people tune in for.
Yeah,
they really thought something was going to happen that day. But you know, look, they showed up. Everybody did what they felt they needed to do, said what they needed to say. And everybody did. Jeezy handled it just like I figured Jeezy would.
Yeah.
Gucci handled it just like I figured Gucci would. Both of them walked in as the man they was and walked out the man they was.
Yeah.
You know, that's all you can really say about that. Now, the UGK and 8 Ball and MG would be very entertaining, right? But Verzuz is a little different now that we back outside.
Well,
right? Verzuz was really the only reason Verzuz, I ain't gonna say the only reason, because it was a great idea. But the reason that Verzuz took off in the way that it did was because it was specifically targeting our demographic, right? And it wasn't about charting artists or who had the hot record or whatever. It was about creating like a vibe, like putting, we finna see this thing and that. Oh man, this finna be live. And I think UGK and 8 Ball and MJG would have worked under those circumstances. Now, obviously, the fans still want to see it, and we're ready to do it if called on. But it's a little different now. Like Verzuz is not. I mean, it's it's owned by Triller now.
Yeah.
Triller have different demands that they want on their investment, which is fine. They spend that money they should, And like I say, we'll do it if they ask for it, but it's still gonna be a little different than if it would have been while everybody was inside.
But
Inside Verzuz was a whole different thing because you could actually people's getting dressed up at home and making drinks at home, right? And getting ready to party at home. Like my wife would put on everything but the heels.
But Bun, I think they'll do it again for UGK and 8 Ball. The reason being,
it's still on the table.
Because see, my thing is this: it was like what you were saying earlier with the South. It's a solid majority. You see what I'm saying? That's a big ass demographic of people that's waiting on that shit.
Without question. Oh,
You
it's
see what
gonna
I'm
do
saying?
numbers. It would definitely do numbers.
My God.
And the energy would be right.
Exactly.
Right? Because like these are my brothers. They're not friends. We are brothers. We used to all live like 2 blocks away from each other. Making music, smoking weed, hanging out, like every other day. We see each other all the time. I've known them for many years. I don't have any. I can't even act like me and Baller G would have like beef or anything.
Right.
It's not even the right energy for the room. I'm not known for that energy. Ball and G not known for that energy. Ain't gonna be like, I'm gonna bust your ass with this one. We can't even do it. Like the New York people do it because that's how New York people talk to each other. Mm-hmm. They talk funky to each other. First time I seen it, I was like, man.
Right.
Y'all must be real good friends the way y'all talk. But it's par for the course. But we ready. We on deck. We gave them our songs. Like they got the list. They know what it is. They approved it. But then not Dionne Warwick, Patti LaBelle and Gladys Knight happened. And so that kind of pushed back. And then the Isley Brothers and Earth, Wind, and Fire happened and pushed back. So we were like on this schedule at a time. And then but these big, and I'm like, look, I want to see the Isley Brothers in it. Earth, Wind, and Fire too. Run it,
Yeah.
But, and again, it was like, because it was no money, it was really just for the culture.
Yeah.
At the time. So
we want to.
So I wasn't tripping, nobody cutting the line. It's not like somebody got to the bag before me,
Thanks.
Right.
Bun and 8 Ball and MJG, street niggas. Bad Boy South, when y'all got together and put that record together, what was that like, Bun?
That was interesting times because Bad Boy wanted UGK at the same time. So
My God.
Pimp was locked up. I remember Puff had this big party in Houston, and we went to the party, and we went to Puff section like that, and behind all the rope and whatever, and they let me and my wife over, and we sat down. Puff said, "With all due respect, B, I need to talk to the wife because I know the wife is the boss." And he told her he wanted to sign UGK. He says, "I'm going to give your husband this much money.
Ooh.
I'm going to give his brother this much money. Ooh. When his brother comes home, they're going to be Bad Boy. We're going to do this." And my wife got in the car and was like, "So when we going to New York?" And I'm like, "We're not."
Ooh.
And that was a very contentious point because she didn't understand why I would turn down the amount of money that they were offering. I said, "We didn't come this far to sell this. We got to ride this out."
Yeah.
I can't have him come home and he work for somebody else now.
Right.
It's just not going to work. We got to ride this thing out. I believe that it could be as good, if not better, when he comes home, as long as we make sure people don't forget about him. Wow. That was my whole thing. We cannot let people forget about him and how great of a talent he is. Because I'm knowing that the level of talent that he possessed does not go away. And like we didn't do a lot of letters. Pimp actually would have access to a phone, and Pimp would every now and then Pimp would call me.
Yeah.
Right, and talk about different albums and different songs, and like, "Hey man, I came up with this," and like he's literally in his mind coming up with beats and trying to find ways of remembering different songs in his head till he can come home.
Yeah.
But I remember the one thing he kept talking about was the Project Pat album. He was always talking about that Project Pat album is so jamming. That bitch so jamming, boy. And he come home, and Project Pat had "I Choose You."
Thanks.
And he called Paul and Juicy and said, "Hey, man, I want to rap to that. I want to rap to that record." Because him and Paul and Juicy were really, really good friends because he loved L.A. They were both on the West Coast at the time. They spent a lot of time together. And we were, we all were good friends, and we were going to do the Underground Mafia album at the time, right? So Pimp comes home, and he said, "Hey, man, that I Choose You, man, that's a hit record, man. Y'all need to drop that record again. People didn't hear that record. And they're like, Pimp, what you talking about, man? That was like a year and a half. That's almost 2 years, man. Peck got another album.
Yeah.
No, man, y'all need to re-drop that album. That's a hit record, man. People need to hear that record. Like, Pimp, we're not finna re-drop the album. Well, man, let me rap to it. Like, what you mean? Like, let me rap to that beat. Just Pimp, we got 1 million beats, my nigga. We could make. I want to rap to that beat right there. That's a hit record. Give me that beat. Hey, man, sent us the session. International Players anthem.
Wow.